Hi everybody. I'm so not the go live type when I don't have a person to go live with. I usually do edited videos, but unfortunately I'm not able to do that because my phone is giving me a lot of aggravation. So here I am, waited a week to share this thought with you, and I figure I'm just going to go live and do it now even though half of America's asleep already. So when I was 19 years old, I had just spent my entire life consuming many, many years worth of Jewish education and watching role models and mentors and really consuming everything that Torah Judaism has to offer on my own terms. I got to really explore it, particularly after high school, and ask the questions I wanted to ask and all that kind of thing. So that was my first 19 years. And 19 years in, I decided that I was done with just consuming and I really wanted to focus on spending the rest of my adult life giving back a little bit of Jewish outreach and education. And so that's what I ended up doing. I spent the last 14 years working for different Jewish outreach organizations, and this past week, after many years of working for different Jewish outreach organizations, I just discovered something totally that opened up my eyes. And here is what it is. So we were working on campus. My husband and I were working on campus, and what we were doing was we were basically making sure that we met a certain number of quota of guests, Shabbat guests, or meetings one-on-one, or suggesting to people that they would learn in a more formalized learning program. And the reason for that is fair because, number one, the Jewish people do need outreach organizations in order to stay strong. That's my belief. I feel that the Jewish people not all Jewish people have the privilege of growing up in a home that values Judaism. Not all Jewish people have the privilege of having a Jewish education. And people should be able to be offered Judaism on the terms that they want. In other words, if social speaks to them, then social should be offered to them. If, high content speaks to them, then learning should be offered to them. So I feel, in order to really give the Jewish people the richest opportunity to grow and learn, we need to have these outreach organizations. There's just a catch. The one catch is these organizations need money. Whether it be from a federation or a private foundation or a private donor, they need money. So here's where it gets complicated, because when you have a private donor or you have an organization that's giving over money and they don't know what's going on, they don't know if the person that they're paying is sitting on the couch for 12 hours a day or actually doing their job. So then they all of a sudden require data. They need numbers to make sure that these people are doing their jobs. And then you get into this very difficult place of having to do a job that requires a lot of humanity and really boil it down into numbers. So I sat down when I was on campus with the other couple that was doing Jewish outreach from a different program, and we had a meeting with them, like a coffee date with them, and the woman said something to me that really stuck with me. She said, I had mentioned something about how I really want to recruit students for a program, and she said, I never recruit students. I just want to engage a Jewish student in the moment doing a mitzvah. That's all I care about. I'm not in it for long term or anything like that. My only goal is to engage a Jewish student in the mitzvah in that moment. So last week I had a conversation with someone, and I didn't ask permission to share the person's name, so I'm not sharing his name, but it was a really eye-opening conversation because I was saying how amazing it was that this organization focused so much on that one moment, whereas we were focusing on so many other numbers. And he pointed out to me that actually all of these organizations, my organization and this women's organization, had the same pitfall. What was the pitfall? We all had goals for the people in front of us. One person's goal might be to have them do a mitzvah in the moment. One person's goal might be to have them at their Shabbat table. We all had goals. Now, you might ask, what's so bad about goals? And I do think that there's a problem with having goals. First of all, it makes people feel like you have an agenda. Second of all, it could inhibit their desire to grow and connect with you if they feel like you have some kind of motive for them. So it works problematically both ways. One, that you have an agenda for them, and number two, that they perceive an agenda in you. So here's the kicker. If you open up Ethics of the Fathers, as this person told me to do, and you find the one time I've ever really seen in the Torah mentioned about the word kiruv, kuf resh vet, which is the term that's thrown around for Jewish outreach, you will see that the person who exemplifies this is Aaron, Moses' brother, Aharon. He is known for a couple of things. One, the Mishnah says, one is pursuing peace, loving people, and drawing people close to Torah, which is kiruv, kuf resh vet. But how did he do it? Did he use goals? Did he use numbers? Did he use data? Did he try to engage a Jew in a mitzvah in that moment? No, he didn't have any of that. What did he do? He worked to build himself up to be the best possible person he could be. And then he just loved other people and made other people think that they were his friend, and then he helped them realize they were his friend because it was genuine. It wasn't coming from a fake place. And the Jewish people would walk around all feeling like they were friends with Aaron. And the incredible part about this is that everyone would walk around with this feeling like Aaron and I are friends. And what that means is that if I'm out doing something and I'm tempted to do something I shouldn't, well, I better not, because Aaron is my friend, and Aaron is such a dignified human being. So all of a sudden my prestige is gone up a little bit because I am a friend of his. This is, in my opinion, the purest and most beautiful form of Jewish outreach. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to leave you on a bit of a sad note. Why? Because at this point, I've given it some thought. I can't think about how you can possibly scale that. First of all, just the first step of trying to become the best person you can be is hard enough. As many people in the Jewish outreach field will tell you, we often feel like we're leading a life that is very flawed and human, because we are, and yet we have to give this perception of leading as perfect as a life as we can, because we want to make sure that people see the beauty in Torah Judaism. So first step is we have to authentically grow and work on ourselves. And I think that the people in Jewish outreach today really strive to do that. But the second piece is the hard part, and that is there are no goals. The only goal is to love people. And how are you really going to prove that in a data-oriented world? And without the data, how are you really going to pay for these wonderful outreach professionals to do their jobs? So that's my 2 cents. If you have a solution, I would love to hear it. But that's my 2 cents for the night. I hope everyone's doing well. Bye.